Harrison coming to you from the LA Convention Center at IT Expo West 2010, day 3 of IT Expo. I'm joined now by Matt Bramson, Chief Marketing Officer of inPhonex. Welcome, Matt.
Welcome, thank you.
Thanks for joining me. So tell us about what's been happening with inPhonex since we last talked to you guys.
Well, the big news, I think, is yesterday we announced a product partnership with a company called Ringyo. Ringyo's a startup that has created a really novel business application. Rather than doing what a lot of folks have done in the realm of hosted PBX, which is to take the current PBX with all of its features and functionality and put it up in the cloud, they really gave it a lot of thought and tried to figure out what the real needs of a business are when it comes to communicating and collaborating. What they came up with is the product they call Ringyo, and it's a marriage of a full-featured IVR, so business has the ability to do some really nifty things with inbound calls, welcome callers by name, ask them if they want to talk to the person they spoke to previously, niftier functionality than typically a PBX has in it. Of course, it has all the PBX functionality. You can call people, you can dial extensions, you can create conference calls, all that kind of stuff. And then maybe most importantly, they have wrapped a CRM application around the whole thing, so that every interaction, inbound call generates a screen pop. Every call gets recorded as a contact. Something pops up when you're talking to someone, so you can record the basic details of the call. And maybe most interestingly, it doesn't require you to create a new database with all your customers. If you've got databases scattered throughout the company in places like Outlook or Google Contacts or LinkedIn or whatever, you just give the application permission to suck those contacts up into the database. So on day one, you're generating meaningful screen pops and recording meaningful customer information without having to create this whole database. A lot of small businesses don't have that data, and that becomes kind of a barrier to them. If I get this new CRM application, I'm going to spend months getting all the information in, and then will my employees use it? And that's the other thing that's neat about this Ringyo application is that the use of it is sort of automatic. You make calls, you receive calls, it all gets recorded, and so we're partnered with them. We're providing the telephony aspects of the platform, of the solution rather, and we're very focused on taking this joint product out to distributors, master telecom agents, other folks that have a sales force that want to take a private label service to the market. And so that's the closest thing we have to big news right now.
Okay, great. What would you say the biggest benefit of this would be for your customers?
Well, I think this is an application that kind of delivers on what's been talked about for a while. Telecom companies have talked for a while about how to break out of the paradigm of just having a price-focused dialogue. I think the biggest benefit is that it really revolutionizes the way you interact with your customers. It really changes the perception of customers have coming into your company by phone. It changes the way you communicate with your customers. I should also mention the application extends to your mobile phone. It has today an Android client, tomorrow an iPhone and BlackBerry client, so that your mobile phone, your smartphone becomes an extension of your business. It doesn't just forward calls to you, it also forwards your customer contact information. It forwards a CRM push to your phone. So I would say the biggest benefit is it allows them to be more productive, more responsive, and differentiate themselves using their communication tools.
Okay, and Matt, you were part of a panel yesterday,
Yep.
And we were talking about software as a service.
Yep.
So what are some trends you're seeing there?
I think we're entering a really exciting phase. I think that the opportunity that companies have today to create an application in the cloud and to deliver that application to potentially thousands of users with very little capital is really unprecedented. We're seeing today, a very full exhibit hall, very full sessions, and I think a lot of that is because that big telecom barrier to entry that's existed for a generation, the need to raise millions, in some cases billions of dollars to even get a business off the ground.
Right.
That's been dramatically lowered. So I think that it already is bearing fruit, and I think it will continue to bear fruit in the form of a lot more innovation, a lot more players entering the space. Presents challenges, of course, too, because competitors can come out of nowhere. A couple of guys and a and an Amazon cloud account can create a competitive product in a few months. So there's challenges for the folks that are in the space and aren't reactive. But I think it's exciting. It also represents an opportunity for companies in telecom to be profitable fairly quickly. It used to be that you would look for multiple years before you would have any chance of recovering your upfront investment.
I think you made the analogy yesterday about being able now to start a business at the cost of maybe an expensive car.
Yeah, yeah. That's how inPhonex got started. inPhonex was started 6 or 7 years ago. The founders put in about as much money as you would spend on a nice car, and since then the business has funded itself. And the reason I think we've been able to do that is because we have adhered to some very rigid principles. One of them is that we automate everything. If we can't make a process efficient and scalable, then we will wait until we can. We don't roll out products or services that have a lot of human, labor involved, with the hope that we'll be able to automate that out of the process at some point in the future. We do that work up front. That's number one. Number two is we really do deeply believe that we're not as smart as the people that are out in front of the customers, the entrepreneurs, the distributors, the folks that are out there selling the products. If they need something, a certain feature, a certain calling plan, a certain location they need to have DIDs, whatever it is, we're going to go get it. We're not going to give their request a whole series of analysis and try to determine how big a need this is. We're just going to do it, and that's really done us well, because it's given us capabilities now that very few other companies have, we're essentially making bets on the folks that we partner with that they know what they're doing. And if you don't believe that, then I think you have a hard time knowing what to do.
Okay. And before we wrap up, how has IT Expo been going for you this week?
I think it's been great. I've been a part of a bunch of sessions that have been well attended. I mentioned the exhibit hall is full of exhibitors and a lot of people walking around. I've made some new good relationships, and so I feel like it's been worthwhile.
That's great. Can't ask for more than that. I've been speaking with Matt Bramson, Chief Marketing Officer of inPhonex. I'm Erin Harrison at IT Expo West 2010 in Los Angeles.